What is this internet today? Socks off, man. Let us automation using Selenium WebDriver. Let us start learning about automation using Selenium WebDriver. Okay, I have a website. Who is that? Please mute your microphone. I have a website. My website name is abc.com. My website name is abc.com. I have username text box. I have password box. I have username text box. I have password box, and I have a login button. I need to log in into this application. If I want to log in into this application, first I need to open the browser. Then I need to open the URL called abc.com. Then I need to open the URL called abc.com. Enter the username in the username text box. Enter the password in the password box. Then click on login button. After opening the browser and URL, if I want to enter the username in the username text box, first identify this username text box and perform some typing operation. Then identify this password box, perform some typing operation. Identify this login button and perform some click operation. To do any sort of automation, we will do only two steps. One is identifying the element and second one is performing action on that element. Identifying the element, perform action. Identifying the element, perform action. These are the only two steps what we will be doing to do any sort of automation. To do any sort of automation, we will do only two steps. One is identify. Let me list out those steps. We will be doing only two steps. One is identifying the element. Second one is performing action on it. Identifying the element and performing action on it. Identifying the element and performing action on it. Identifying the element and performing action on it. These are the only two steps what we will be doing to do any sort of automation. Okay. For example, I have a checkbox here. I have a checkbox here. I need to identify. I need to click on this. First, identify this element and perform action on it. If I have a radio button, first identify this element and perform action on it. I have a link called forgot your password link. Identify this element and perform action on it. Identify this element and perform action on it. To do any sort of automation, we will do only two steps. One is identifying the element and second one is performing action on that element. Identify the element and perform action. These are the only two steps what we will be doing. Identify the element and perform action. Identify the element and perform action. Okay, these are the only two steps. To identify the elements, you do not have any Java knowledge. To identify the elements, you do not have any Java knowledge. Only to perform action, only we need to have Java knowledge. Just a minute. Take down this into your notes. Sir, you're not recording, it's recording. Don't worry about that, Shantakumar. It's there. See, to identify the element, you do not have any Java knowledge. Only to perform action, only we need to have Java knowledge. To identify the elements, if you have the basic knowledge on HTML, that's enough. To identify the elements, if you have the basic knowledge on HTML, that's enough. Okay. Only to perform action, only we should have the basic knowledge on Java. Okay. Now, to identify the elements, first we have to learn the basics of HTML. Then start identifying the elements. Then start learning the basics of Java. Then start performing action. That's the procedure how you have to learn. First learn the basics of HTML, start identifying the elements. Then start learning the basics of Java, then start performing action. That's the order how you are going to learn. Okay. Now first, out of that, the first step is, first I need to learn the basics of Java. Okay. If you want to learn the basics of, first I have to learn the basics of HTML. If you want to learn the basics of HTML, then if you design a small web page, then you will come to know the basics of HTML. If you start designing a small web page, then we will come to know the basics of HTML. Okay. Then you might ask a question, sir, in real time, are we going to develop the web pages in real time? No, we are not going to develop. Developers only will develop. But if you have the knowledge of how the HTML pages are developed, identifying the elements becomes very easy. Identifying the elements becomes very easy. Okay. That's why what we are going to do now is, we are going to start learning the basics of HTML by designing the pala in LP na chudma. Okay. Sorry guys. Now basics of HTML. As I said, we should know the basics of HTML. We are not developers to learn the complete HTML. We should know the, but even though if we are not developers, we should know the basics about how the HTML pages are built. That's why we are going to start developing a small web page. For sure, whatever the topics, whatever the topics we are going to learn, we are not going to for sure whatever the topics we are going to learn, we are not going to develop that in the real time. But we should have the basic knowledge, whatever the topics we have. See, it will hardly take around 40 1.5 hours to 2 hours to learn the basics of HTML. Most of the people, those who are working in real time now also, they might think that we are not developers, right? Why we have to learn the basics of HTML? If you have that mindset, right, throughout your career, you will be keep on struggling how to identify the elements. That's why let us come out of that and start learning the basics of HTML by developing a small web page. Think that only for today and tomorrow we are going to be as a developers. Only for today and tomorrow we are going to be as a developers, and we are going to start developing the web page. Okay. Let us think that we are developers and we are going to start developing the web page. Before any developer develops a web page, to be honest, whatever we are going to learn today and tomorrow, we are not going to do that, guys. But if we have that knowledge, we can start developing the web page. Now, I am a developer. Think that I am a developer and I am going to start developing the web page. Before any developer develops a web page, he will be getting the requirements from the client. Based on the client requirement, anyone will start developing the web page. Okay, imagine that my client has said me to develop a web page like this. This is the web page. What happened? Just a minute, guys. This board got disconnected. Just 1 minute, guys. I'll do one thing. Okay, now I am going to start developing this web. I am going to have the title of the pages Welcome to Selenium. Welcome to Selenium. Welcome to Selenium. I need to have a username text box. I need to have username text box. I need to have username text box. I need to have a password box. Handwriting might be poor because this is a digital handwriting, that's why. I need to have a button called login. I need to have a checkboxes reports. I am going to have a radio button, male radio button, female radio button. I am going to have a link called Google link. I am going to have a image. I am going to have a image. Sorry, I am going to have some image. I am going to have a image with link. What is the difference between image and image with link? Image, this is image and this is image with link. What is the difference between image and image with link?
Like if you open image with link, that if you click on that, it will be redirecting to another page.
Yes,
Like
that is what.
images.
Yes. The image with link, when I mouse over on that, it will change to a hand symbol. When I click on that, it will redirect to some other page. Whereas image, when I mouse over on this, you cannot click on that. That's the difference between image and image with link. That's the difference between image and image with link. Please mute your microphone. Next. Next one is single select drop down. I can select one city. Next, multi select drop down. Multi select drop down. Next one is text area. Text area where I can write some description. Text area. Next one is file choosing button, that is browse button or something. These are the different elements what we find in our web page. Okay, this is called a text box. This is called a text box. This is called a password box. This called a button. This called a checkbox. We should know about the element names also. Checkbox. This called a radio button. Button. This called a link. This called image with link. This called a single select drop down. Select drop down. This is called a multi select drop down. Drop down. This is called a text area. This is a file choosing button. File choosing button. This file choosing button. These are the different elements what we find in our web page. Okay. Imagine that my client has said me to develop a web page like this. I am going to start developing the web page. Make a quick note of this, guys. Then we will start developing this web page also. Make it quick. Have you completed this? Take down the element names also, guys. Have you completed taking down this, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, now I'm going to start developing this web page. I'm going to start developing this particular web page. Now, any HTML page will be developed. Any HTML page will be developed by using a technology called HTML. Any HTML page will be developed by using a technology called HTML. Writing the HTML code, you can write it anywhere. You can write it in WordPad, you can write it in Notepad, you can write it in Edit Plus, Notepad Plus, whichever the editor you want, you can write it. But while you are saving that file, you have to save with .html extension. While you are saving that file, you have to save with .html extension. Okay. Okay. Now, what I am going to do here is I am going to use a plain notepad and I am going to start developing this web page. I am going to use a plain notepad and I am going to start developing this web page. Okay. Let me open notepad. It will start with HTML tag. It will end with HTML tag. It has two child tags called head tag and it has body tag. It has two child tags called head tag and body tag. Any HTML page will start with HTML tag and it will end with HTML tag. Ending is nothing but slash is nothing but ending. Inside that it has two child tags called head tag which is open here and which is closed here, body tag which is open here and which is closed here. Body tag which is open here and which is closed here. Okay, any HTML, this is how all my elements whatever you are going to create, that will be under the body tag only. All the elements whatever I am going to create, that will be under the body tag. Like uh, text box, password box, all these things are under the body tag. Apart from body, if you have some other thing like title or some other thing, that will be under the head tag. That will be under the head tag. That will be under the head tag. Any HTML page will start with HTML tag and it will end with HTML tag. It has two child tags called head tag which is open here and which is closed here, body tag which is open here and which is closed here. Any HTML tag which starts here and which ends here, body tag which opens here. This is the basic structure of HTML. Take down heading. See, basically, our human body is also divided into two sections, head section and body section. The same way, the HTML pages are also divided into two sections, head section and body section. Take down this into your notes. Take down heading as basic structure of HTML and take down this. Next, I will explain you how to save this and how to see the output of this and all those things also. Any HTML page start with HTML tag and it will end with HTML tag. It has two child tags called head tag which is open here and which is closed here. Okay, now how to save this and how to see the output of this, we'll see that. Go to file, go to file. I am going to save this. Save. Where I am going to save it? I am going to save it under D drive. I am going to save it under D drive. There is a folder called classes. Classes. Under this classes folder, I have a folder called batch 287. Under that, I am going to create a folder named this is practice. And I need to go with sample.html. HTML. Sample.html. Save this. Sample.html. Any HTML page starts with HTML tag and it will end with HTML tag. It has two child tags called head, which is open here and which is closed here, body, which is open here and which is closed here. Now I have saved this. Where I have saved? Under D drive, under classes, under batch 287, under batch 287, under batch 287, under this practice folder, I have saved this as sample.html. Right, this is the file. If you save with .html extension, okay, this is the file what you will be getting. If you want to see the source code of this, right click, open with notepad. You will be able to see the source code. Right click, open with notepad. You will be able to get the source code. This is the source code. Yes. If you want to see the output of this file, right click, open with any of the browser, whichever the browser you like. You will be able to see the output. Yes, it has opened here. Yes, this is the output. Okay. If you want to see the output, right click, open with browser. You will be able to see the output. Right click, open with notepad. You will be able to see the source code. You will be able to see the source code. You will be able to see the source code. This is the source code. You will be able to see the source code. This is the source code. Right click, open with browser. You will be able to see the output. Going further, what I will do, I will write the code to develop the text box, password box, all these things. I will develop the source code here. I will save this, press Ctrl S, save this. If I want to see the output, I have to do right click and open with the browser, but already I have opened that browser, right? If you go here and if I just click on this refresh, I will be able to get the updated output. I will be able to get the updated output. Write the code in the notepad, press Ctrl S, come back here and refresh. This is how you have to set the platform. Few developers, what they do, they'll keep the source code in the left hand side. Source code in the left hand side. Source code in the left hand side and this in the right hand side. Okay, right hand side. source code in the left hand side, the right hand side. Okay, this is how you can use it, or else if you want to maximize both also you can use. This is how you have to set the platform. Everyone, have you understood how to set the platform to develop the web page? Yes or no? Can you unmute and reply me, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Now I am going to start developing this web page. I am going to start developing this web page. Okay, as per my requirement. As per my requirement, the first thing what I need to develop is, I need to develop the title of the pages. Welcome to Selenium. I need to develop the title of the pages. Welcome to Selenium. Let me start developing the page. Yes, welcome to Selenium. Okay. Develop the title. Title should be under the head tag. Title should be under the head tag. Title. Welcome to Selenium. Title. Yes. Press Ctrl S. Save. Ctrl S. Save this. Come back here. Just. Raj Garu? Hello. Raj Garu. Good morning, Raj Garu. ఊర్లోనే అన్నారు. వచ్చేస్తా నేను ఇప్పుడు 9కి అక్కడ ఉంటా ఈరోజు. అన్న రమ్మన్నారు. దీనికి సరే వస్తున్నా 10కే. అవును. బస్సు విషయంగా 9కి రమ్మన్నాడు మరి. ఏమో. అవునా. అవునా. సర్లే నేను వస్తాను 9 గంటలకు వస్తాను. నేను క్లాస్లో ఉన్నాను. Sorry guys. Now I need to develop the title. I have given the title here. I have pressed Ctrl S. File, save. Press Ctrl S, save. Okay, save this. Next. Save this. Save this. Now go back here. Now if I refresh this, I will be getting the updated title here. If I refresh this, I will be getting the updated title here. If I refresh this, I will be getting the updated title. See, I am just going to click on refresh. I have got the title. Welcome to Selenium. Welcome to Selenium. How to get the title of the page? Yes. Welcome to Selenium. Yeah.
Sir, one quick doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Here, the file name has been changed, sir.
Sample.html, the same file name only.
But this is fine. But when you see in the browser,
Hmm.
I thought like title will come inside it, but it's
No.
same with,
Actually, if you don't have a default title, it will take the file name. This is not the file name actually. It is the title. If you don't have any title, it will take the default as a file name. But what I did, I have given a title as Welcome to Selenium. That's why it is showing that. Understood?
okay.
Okay. File name shows here. Are you able to see the file name?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
This is about how to develop the title of the page. This is about how to develop the title of the page. Next, I need to create a text box. I need to create a text box. Text box. I need to create a text box. I need to create a text box. I need to create a text box. Text box. I need to create a text box. This is the first element. Input is the tag to create the text box input. Now I am going to press Ctrl S, save this, come back to this, and if I refresh this, I will be getting a text box here. I will be getting a text box here. This is how to create a text box. This is how to create a text box. Next, if I want to create a checkbox, if I want to create a checkbox, input type equal to checkbox, so that I will be able to create a checkbox. Input type equal to radio, so that I will be able to create a radio button. Input type equal to radio, so that I will be able to create a radio button. Input type equal to radio. Input type equal to checkbox. Input type equal to text, so that I will be able to create a text box. Input type equal to text, so that I will be able to create a text box. Just this is how to create it. If you are not giving anything also, if you just give if you are not if you give some spelling mistakes or something also, it will create a text box only. By default, input type equal to text, so that I will be able to create a text box. This is how to create a text box. How to create a text box. This is how to create a text box. Yes. Input type equal to text, so that I will be able to create a text box. If you are not giving anything also, it will consider as by default type attribute value is text. By default type attribute value is text. That is what I mean to tell you here. Okay. Now, as per my requirement, I need a label for this text box as username. Okay. Let me give this label as username. Let me save this. Control S, save, Control S, come back here and refresh, so that I have got a username text box. Hope everyone have understood how to create a text box here, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next, this is how to create a username text box. Normally, when you see a government form, you will be having username, first name, last name, first name, last name. How to create a username text box, first name text box, last name text box. This is how we'll have. All the text boxes will have the same code. All the text boxes will have the same code. Input type equal to text, input type equal to text, input type equal to text, like this. All the text boxes will have the same code. All the text boxes will have the same code. Okay, the code whatever I have selected here, does it refers to the first name or last name? The code whatever I have selected here, does it refers to the first name or last name?
First name.
First name. Since there are only three elements, easily you are able to tell whether that refers to the first name or last name. But if there are huge set of elements, then it will be quite difficult. That's why normally what developers will be doing, they will be giving a unique id equal to u name, id equal to f name, id equal to l name, like that. Equal to l name, like that. These are the different elements what we find in our. This is how to create a text box. Okay, without IDs also you will be able to create it, but for future reference purpose they will be giving ID. Don't ask me again, sir, why you have given that ID, why you have given that ID. Okay, without that also you will be able to create it. If there are huge if there are many text boxes, there should be some variations in the code between each and every element. That's why we will give that ID. If you don't like to give ID, leave it, that's not a problem at all. Okay, this is how to create a text box. Next, the next element is I need to create a password box. I need to create a password box. Password box. Password box. Password box. Username text box and password box. Username text box and password box. This is how to create a username text box and password box. Yes. Yes. How to create a username text box and password box.
So just a question.
Yeah.
What if in case if I want the password box to be down?
That anyhow we are going to see on these elements.
Okay.
Okay. Can we have the password box like this, which shows the characters?
No, sir.
No.
There should be
Password.
some.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be encrypted. That is not a
Ah,
text box. It's a password box. Input type equal to password, so that it will create a password box. Most of them thinks that text password box is also a text box only. No, there is a huge difference. That is called password box. This is called text box. Input type equal to password. so that it will create a password box. Understood?
Yeah.
Next.
So one big question here,
Mm.
like a password box should have some conditions in it, right? That we are going to define it.
No, no, that developers will do it. They have to do some back-end code for that and all those things. We don't want to go in-depth level like that.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now we have created a text box and password box. We have created a text box and password box. Next, I am going to create button. I need to create a button here. Input type equal to button, so that I will be able to create a button. Input type equal to button, so that I will be able to create a button. Input type equal to button. Input type equal to button. Input type equal to submit, so that I will be able to create a button name as submit. Input type equal to button, input type equal to submit. Or else I can give input type equal to button also, so that I will be able to create a button name as button. Now, okay, I need the button name as login, not before the button or after the button. I need on the button, so that I am going to give value equal to Pratap. Whatever I give, that it will be displayed here. Input type, if I give login, it will be displayed there. Yes. Okay. I'm going
So,
to, yeah,
yeah, actually, you have given input type is equals to submit, right?
yeah. If you give
If
button,
we give the name,
mm,
if you are not giving the button, will it consider it as button? No,
yes,
right?
it
It
will.
will come as a text box.
No, no. If you are giving input type equal to submit, automatically it will create as a button.
Button.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. Next, I need to create a checkbox next. Input type equal to checkbox. ID equal to REP. Reports or something. I'll give. Yes, I've got a checkbox. Next, I need to create a radio button. How to create a radio button? Input type equal to radio. Okay, so that I have got a radio button here, but I don't want the radio button. As per my requirement, I need the radio button in the next line here. In that case, I can use BR tags, breaking reference. But normally developers won't use any BR tags, because if they use BR tags, alignment over the cross browser, it will get mismatch. Instead of that, what they will use, what is the other alternate what they will use, that is what we are going to see in the upcoming session. Okay, make until here everyone will you be able to develop